This question is from an anonymous retreatant online. Dear Ajahn, I have many plans in my life. Sometimes I would wait for a while for one opportunity, but when I get the opportunity, I would give up immediately because I don't think it is important anymore. However, a few weeks later, I would fight for the opportunity again, and then give up again, repeat and repeat. I cannot accomplish any goals because I always give up when I have the chance. It makes me feel very confused for a few years. I don't know what to do. Can Ajahn give me some advice? Thank you.
So one of the qualities that lead us to success is that of sincerity, or setting our hearts on something. So this quality of chanda, of desire, or setting the heart on something. So when we've set our hearts well already, and then we've waited for the opportunity to arrive, and then when it comes, we need effort as well. So what this shows that in this case, the effort is not there. The opportunity is there, but then when it comes, there's the sankhara, or the proliferations of the mind, which cut that sincerity off. And so there are thoughts that come up, views that come up, thoughts and views that change from what they were before. And that leads us to waste this opportunity. So we need to establish this satya, this kind of truthfulness, so determination. And we've contemplated already that this thing that we're planning on doing, it's something that is good. But when the time comes, then our thoughts change. And we think that it's not something important anymore, it's just an insignificant matter. But we set this determination that even though these thoughts may come up, we will still do that activity. Because you have this experience already, and you've seen the drawbacks of that, of having that sincerity, waiting for the opportunity, but then not doing it, how that wastes your time. So you need to establish your heart anew. You've seen the drawbacks of these thoughts which cut off this activity, prevent you from doing that. So you shouldn't believe those thoughts. So you could say that this is some karma that's coming up, or it's the mara of sankharas that's coming up. But if there's the sincerity of mind, then you won't waste this opportunity, that when it comes, you'll do that. So you have this experience already. And so you shouldn't, or you've seen how this wastes your time. If it's something that doesn't harm oneself, doesn't harm others, you've used your wisdom already to contemplate this activity and seen that it's good, then you should really set this kind of determination of truth that you will follow through with this until you succeed in it.
This question is from an anonymous person at a physical retreat. Hello Ajahn Anan, thank you for your teaching. As a young Buddhist, I am inclined to spend time meditating and doing volunteer work. I am not inclined to start a family and have children. Some may find this selfish. Will you be able to advise on this? Thank you.
So, selfishness is something that we should understand first, what that is. And that's doing something for oneself without having any interest about others or even harming others. And that is a selfish activity. But if we have this thought that when we have the time we'll develop samadhi or we'll help other people, we have this kindness there to give a helping hand, then that is merit and that is skillful as well. This is a heart of giving, so it's not selfish. So not having a family, not having children, this is something that's normal for someone who sees the drawbacks and of the chaos of having a family and children. So that's not something that's selfish. It just depends upon the level of the minds of individuals. Some people have a family and children already, and they practice and keep this virtue as well. And so it's not incorrect to do that. So they're staying within this kind of bounds of virtue and developing goodness. So this isn't something that you should worry about. You shouldn't be concerned about how other people see you, but rather look at yourself and to see whether you're harming yourself or others. And that's correct, to be looking in that way. So just carry on doing what you're doing, developing mindfulness and samadhi, being firm in your precepts. When you have the time, then you can give that time in order to help out society in line with your energy and your means. And so that's an act of kindness and compassion. And that kindness and compassion, that comes back to support your meditation as well and makes the meditation better.
Is heaven or hell a physical place, or is it only the state of mind after death?
So I'm talking about the realms of existence. There are three of these. There's three worlds, that of the world of sensuality and the world of form and formless. So in terms of the kind of realm of sensuality, humans are in the middle of this. Above humans there's the heaven worlds, or the heaven realms. And so that of the four great kings and of Tawatingsa and Yama, and up above those as well. And then higher than those we have the Brahma worlds. So there's the Brahma worlds of form and then the formless Brahmas as well. Below the human level there are animals and then pretas, these hungry ghosts. The asuras is the cowardly titans, they're sometimes translated as, and the lowest level is that of hell. So there are these three worlds, these three planes of existence, and beings travel between these, being born and dying, constantly through these three planes. So if they have merit in their minds, then they'll be born as a human or as a deva. If someone has jhana, then they'll go to the Brahma worlds. And so the Brahmas, they have these qualities of kindness and compassion, sympathetic joy and equanimity. So the Brahma gods, the form Brahma gods, they have four faces for these four qualities. For the formless Brahmas, that they focus just on mental qualities, and their minds are very subtle until they become empty. And the Buddha said that they are very close to Nibbana at that point. The people who, or beings who have samadhi like this, to the level of a formed or a formless Brahma, that it's quite easy for them to develop vipassana insight if they turn their minds to that. So lower than the humans, these are beings that have greed, hatred and delusion in their minds at the point of death, that their mind is in quite a gloomy and down state, and so they go to a lower plane. So in asking, are these planes of existence real? Well, they are real following the karma that we build. that when we do this karma, then we'll get born into one of these realms, following the qualities that are there within our minds. So if the qualities in the mind are not good, then we'll fall. If they are good, then we'll get born as a human, or if they're even better than that, get born as a deva, celestial being. So what we should do is really try to build up all kinds of goodness, all of these good qualities of generosity and virtue and meditation, having mindfulness being firmly established in our precepts. And these are the qualities that prevent our minds from becoming sad and falling down. But we also shouldn't wait until death for that, that we should look at our minds here in the present moment first. That if in the present moment the mind is in a sad state, a gloomy down state, then the mind will fall into one of these realms of deprivation. So this happens in the mind first. And if at that point the physical body dies, then the mind will go to that plane. But if the mind is in a bright and joyful state, then upon death, then the mind will go up to a higher realm. So in the Buddha's time, or just after the Buddha's time rather, there was someone who was taking some lotus flowers in order to pay homage to a stupa that contained the relics of the Buddha. But on the way, this person died and was reborn as a deva. Well, there was, during the time of the Buddha, a frog that was listening to the Buddha teach at Jetavana Monastery. And while this frog was listening to the sermon, someone looking after cows, a cowherd, came along and struck that frog with his walking stick. And so that frog died while listening to the Dhamma, and even though he didn't have an understanding of those teachings, there was still the energy of the purity of that sound. And so great joy arose within that frog's heart, and upon dying was born as a human. So beings change their worlds of existence like this. And so hell exists, heaven exists, the Brahma worlds exist, and Nibbana exists. And if we bring the mind to purity, then we see the Dhamma, and in seeing that, we see Nibbana. That we attain to the Dhamma, and the mind attains to this pure emptiness, which is Nibbana.
Next question is from an anonymous person at a physical retreat. Hi, Luang Por. Thank you so much for your talk on Satta, faith, and how the mind needs to be cultivated to practice well. My question is, how would you advise if one is breathless after meditation?
So establish your mindfulness anew. So take 3 deep breaths, a deep in-breath, and then breathe all the air out. And then establish your mindfulness anew. There's no need to watch the breath then while sitting in meditation, because there may be it may not kind of be in line with kind of your breath now, with how it's appropriate to be when sitting in meditation. So when sitting, you can watch your thoughts instead and look at how it is that your thoughts are going. If they are unskillful and wholesome thoughts, try to abandon them. If they're good, then try to cultivate them. And so don't worry about this, just establish the mindfulness in you. And there may be a bit of kind of confusion there, that you may be used to a more coarse posture. And so the breath is kind of flowing at that rate. But when sitting in meditation, there's no need, or the breath should be going slower. But there's not kind of a, the body doesn't really kind of get that. So when walking, then you have the mindfulness there with walking with the feet. And then when speaking, then you know that you're speaking. But there's no need to focus on the breath for now. And then in time, this will resolve itself and the breath will relax. You'll be able to get into a peaceful state and there won't be this confusion.
The next question is from an anonymous person at a physical retreat. Hi Ajahn Anan, thanks for providing this peaceful environment for us to cultivate our minds. In the secular world, there are opportunities to earn a living by being a mindfulness teacher. How does one know one is ready to be a mindfulness teacher?
So in teaching meditation, this can give rise to quite a lot of benefit. And as we teach ourselves and we teach others as well. And we're probably not doing that just to gain things, but we have this intention to spread the teachings of the perfectly self-awakened Buddha. However, we also need to have a livelihood as well. And so in teaching, and there's something that we get back from that, kind of a price that we get back for our efforts. So we may listen to these teachings and have a clear understanding of them on that level. And so there's this memory of what we've heard. And then from that memory we can speak in line with that and teach people the correct path of practice, even though we may not have very deep or clear experiences ourselves. But when people listen to those teachings and put them into practice, they may get very good results from that. They may gain samadhi, they may gain wisdom. But we shouldn't forget this foundation of sila, of virtue as well. And then maybe also we gain certain experiences in our practice. Perhaps we sit in meditation, and there's mindfulness there. The mind becomes still and peaceful, and then joy arises. There's a buoyancy both in the body and mind. And then we have enough of an understanding about samadhi then to be able to teach others as well. So from the understanding that we gain from experience that we have, then we can speak on that, we can teach so that people don't lose the correct path or go astray. And if the nature of the Dhamma appears for us, and perhaps we see clearly how all forms and feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and the sense consciousness is anicca, dukkha, anatta, something that's constant, changing and stressful and not self. When we see this clearly, then that's all the better. We'll be able to teach people even better. But if we're going to wait until we gain kind of the best experience before we start teaching, then maybe we don't ever get to that point. So whatever degree that we have experience and our ability, then we should teach to that degree. But you should also be cautious and careful not to recommend bad things to other people as well.
The next question is from an anonymous person at a physical retreat. Hi Longpo, can you please advise on how to deal with my overexcited mind before sleep? I have been losing sleep due to being overly anxious in certain situations that I have dealt or reacted to in a negative and stressful way, even though I chant and try to let go of these thoughts. Thank you.
So you should try to have a period before going to bed for at least an hour where you don't do any work and try to relax the body. So you can listen to some chanting that has some music as well. Because if you just chant, then that may not relax you. But if you have this kind of quite light sounding chanting, maybe with music as well, then this can bring an ease to the breath and to the heart. And you can try chanting lightly along with that as well. And then spread metta to yourself, reciting, may I be happy, and may all beings be happy. And think like this. And also reflect that today may be the last day of your life. So why worry then? Why be afraid? Because life is not sure. You need to be separated from all things. And thinking like this can allow you to let go of these worries and these fears, and let go of this stress as well. Because life is not sure, but death is sure. So if we bring up this feeling that we need to die, then we won't worry about anything. So you should have mindfulness and give rise to joy within the mind. And so try this out. So you can also try out kind of a new mantra or meditation word. So if you want to sleep, and then you can recite this mantra of sleep, sleep, or deep sleep, deep sleep. So on the in-breath, you can recite sleep. On the out-breath, sleep. And if that doesn't work, or if that kind of gives rise to a worry that you're not going to sleep, then you can change this mantra to being intent not to sleep. So on the in-breath, you can recite, don't fall asleep. On the out-breath, don't fall asleep. And then you may just kind of lose that meditation word and fall asleep. You can also recite as well kind of another mantra, which is kind of on the in-breath, you can recite sleeping is not self. On the out-breath, not sleeping is not self. And just carry on reciting that and let go.